How will the lunar and solar eclipse affect the Felon in March? Let's look into that. Welcome to Scrying Out Loud. My name is Trevor. Thank you to everybody who's subscribed to the channel, to everybody who watches, likes, shares the videos. A special thank you to people who comment on the videos. I appreciate all your comments. And those of you that have given money to the channel, a huge, huge thank you to you. So we have a lunar eclipse on the 13th or 14th, depending upon where you are, and a solar eclipse in the United States on the 29th. That might be a different day, depending upon if you're like in Australia, I think that might be a different day. Okay, so how are the eclipses going to affect the Felon? Okay, so earlier when I was getting ready to do this reading and I was sitting down, I was thinking about the topics. This wasn't the original topic I had planned. I kept seeing an image in the water of Ivana Trump. And I don't know exactly what that means. I certainly know who Ivana Trump is and have suspicions about how the felon treated her. Um, and we did a reading where she seems to haunt him. So perhaps this is a message about health or mental health in particular. So let's just see what we kind of get. Maybe we'll use some multiple decks and we'll just throw out a few cards. And then maybe we'll throw out a couple oracle cards to see what we should know about the month of March. Can you show us what do we need to know about the in the month of March? Maybe we'll pull four cards, kind of like one for each week, although tarot's not necessarily great at timing. But what do we need to know about the felon, just in general? What do we need to know about the felon in the month of March? What do we need to know about the felon? Card popped out. Something coming forward about money, about finances. Yeah, some sort of new beginning, a very passionate, very fiery kind of perspective. Like to me, it feels like he might kind of see some limits on his mental, physical, or even leadership abilities. Like the courts might knock some things back. The devil, he's gonna feel tortured, mis and disinformation, abuse of power, addictions, possibly. This also could go along with just being a very dark period. That would correspond, if we were to go by weeks, that would correspond with the lunar eclipse. Yeah, ill health, not surprising. I don't think he's well. In previous readings, I had gotten that the third week in March was going to be very pivotal, perhaps maybe even, for entertainment purposes, only an assassination attempt in the third week of March. But I tend to not trust myself when I get like stuff that's that specific. Um, Defending oneself, he's going to do something that makes a lot of people angry. And by a lot of people, I mean far more than 50%. Uh, the strength is underneath, the strength of the cult is still there, though, for him to pull from. Let's see. I think I want to use this deck. Can you tell us about the felon in the month of March? What do we need to know about the felon in the month of March? These popped out. Yeah, okay. Makes sense. Russian influence, and the Ten of Wands, very heavy, heavy burdens. that he's going to be carrying. Of course, what is a burden to him might be a blessing to us. Need to know that one in the month of March. To know about the March. So, I think he's going to get angrier and angrier the more things don't go his way. And I think things aren't going to go his way this month. Repayments of loans and debts, concerns about money, perhaps, the Six of Pentacles. Yeah, the Tower card. Something really explosive around the lunar eclipse is going to happen. We got the Devil and we've got the Tower. Things come crumbling down. The facade comes crumbling down. It's like, to me, it kind of feels something along these lines. If he implements these tariffs, they go terribly in the beginning. The stock market drops, 5, 6%, and something along those lines. It might not be exactly that, but something like that. And, his image in his mind is destroyed. Whether it is actually destroyed is a different story. But things come crumbling down with the Tower card and looking for new rebuilding relationships, existing relationships, or trying to find new relationships, seeking validation with the Ace of Cups or comfort. And that might have something to do with, and which is a little bit surprising, like surprising relationships. That might have to do something with his health. And we get justice, defending himself, but justice ultimately comes. This can be karmic justice too. And we get the Page of Wands underneath in this deck, which is fiery messages coming forward. Perhaps people keep telling him, what you're saying is not true, right? Macron kind of did that, then Zelensky kind of did that, and he just kind of lost it, right? He just kind of is like, can't handle that type of energy. Let's pull from this deck. He tells us about the Felon in the month of March. And this Russia story is not going away. And the Russia story is a huge burden to him. Today he was asked, are you trying to implement the Russian worldview in the United States? And he didn't answer the question. So I'm recording this on the 3rd. He just didn't answer the question. You would think that would be kind of a no-brainer type answer, but again, I think his hands are really tied because of the things he's done in the past. He shows about the Felon. About the marriage. Yeah, the Lover's card. So needing help from others, which is not a position he likes to be in. Something new starting around money. I really feel like the image that he's good for the economy is going to get destroyed. I think that's what comes crumbling down. Circles of support gathering around him. This might be because of a health issue. And then bombshells and surprises. And we get the spy in the camp underneath. We might not get the information firsthand, but I think we're going to get it eventually, whatever it is that we need to know. It's like Bob Woodward, who wrote books about him, but instead of telling us when it was happening or shortly after it happened, he waited until he could make money on the books. No, I'm not necessarily dissing Bob Woodward is just, it might have been nice to know some of that stuff earlier. We need to know about the felon in the month of. Yeah, it feels like there's a lot of strain in relationships at the beginning of the month. Read the Four of Wands. This is the voters. I don't think they're happy. Sometimes the marriage card, right? That's why I call it the voters card because we, you know, chose the leader, so to speak. The tower on top of the tower on the lunar eclipse, things really come crumbling down. And the images in this card are people are charging towards the person who's caused the tower. People are going to start, I think, start to turn on him. We get the Queen of Pentacles. His leadership around money is going to be questioned, or about his health. Pentacles can be health. And we get the Four of Pentacles. This is the miser card, holding on to money tightly. Everybody's going to start to be concerned about money, I think, unfortunately. I think these tariffs are going to have some really negative effects. A full illumination underneath the Sun card. This card apparently I didn't pick up, so it must be seen. The Eight of Cups, walking away from things that don't serve us. Again, I think that has to do with the voters kind of realizing, you know what, he's not good for the economy. You know, eggs are $7 a dozen or whatever they are. And people's shopping behaviors are going to change too. People are going to become more conscientious when grocery shopping, in particular, about what's on sale, if they're not already. I mean, for our family, we're pretty conscientious. What do we need to know about the to know about the grab some cards. Hang on a second. These cards apparently wanted to be seen. I don't normally drop cards. We get the Hanged Man, pausing, suspension, rethinking plans. And we get the Five of Cups, loss. Also kind of the minor kind of death card. Heavy burdens, the end of a cycle. The King of Wands. I think people are going to question whether he actually means what he says for maybe the first time. Maybe that's wishful thinking. Surprising beginnings. We got the Ace of Cups on the Ace of Cups. It's Ace of Cups too. And the Hermit card, feeling isolated and alone. Underneath here, we have the Knight of Wands, some sort of message coming forward. And then we'll pull from, this is the Thoth deck. Well, some cards from the Thoth deck. He shows about the Felon. So the channel bought this deck too. And the Unveiled Tarot. I have a couple more over here, but I'm still kind of learning the images. He shows about. So this was the first deck I ever had, was the Thoth deck, and I still have it. I should bring it out sometimes and show you all, but it's very, very old and very beat up. that a friend gave me. It was about the felon in March. Well, the candle went out, so maybe that's a sign in itself of the felon in March. Could be. You get the Queen of Wands. I think people start questioning, does he mean what he says? Like, now for most of us, we've already questioned that a lot. And we mixed conclusions. Sometimes I think he does mean what he says, and sometimes I don't. It just depends. We get satiety. So it's like the Nine of Cups. We get science. Maybe something really about his health here. And we get defeat. Yeah, he's gonna have a very bad month. The Fool is underneath. He's gonna have to start over. Um, so kind of to summarize, lots of lots of energy, lots of questioning himself, and people start questioning him. The second week with the lunar eclipse, though, is the most interesting of the weeks because we get the Devil, the Tower, the Ace of Pentacles, the Tower, the Queen of Wands, and Satiety. So I think that's going to be a tough week. The third week, we have problems with health, surprising new starts, people coming in to help, the Queen of Pentacles, people questioning his monetary policy and science. I wonder if there won't be some more problems around his health or even more problems with some outbreaks of measles, whooping cough. We get defending oneself, justice, bombshells and surprises with the Page of Cups, uh, the Miser card, feeling alone, and we get defeat. So I think it's going to be a pretty horrible month for the felon. Now, that that's the way I see it. So, what do we need to know about the eclipses? So, eclipses can bring powerful, powerful change, but they can take a while to manifest. So, the way I've always thought about them is that the energy from the eclipse can take until the next eclipse before that energy changes. So, and the eclipses are, 6 months apart. So the next eclipse season will be September. I'm pretty sure I have that right. Um, so just have to roll with the energy, whatever they are. So let's see. I'll grab another deck. This one, and then we'll pull a few order cards. What can you show? What do we need to know about the lunar and solar eclipse in March? What are the energies we need to know about? Well, let's pull 5 cards. Sounds about right. Not in particular order. Just what do we see? The Three of Swords. I think there's going to be a lot of heartache or worry. Nine of Swords kind of energy, the anxiety. I'm seeing like coins in the water. I think there's going to be a lot of worry about money. Bit justice. think we're supposed to know that justice is going to happen. And moderation's on its way, temperance and strength. We're very strong. We're capable. We can handle this time period. That's three major arcanas. These eclipses are going to be pretty powerful. And then we get the Ace of Swords. They're going to cause a new beginning of sorts, perhaps new leadership coming forward, which is consistent with what we've been seeing. And then we get the World at end of the cycle. So four major arcanas. I'm out of the five. That's a lot. The spy in the camp might be the cause of it all. Page of Swords. That's interesting. Let's actually pull five more cards from a different deck. What do we need to know about the eclipses? I think the main thing we need to know is that I'm getting the justice is coming. Moderation will always come back from extreme. The extremes will happen and moderation comes back. That doesn't mean it's easy, but we have the strength to handle it. And the end of the cycle will arrive and probably bring in new leadership, or at least a new leadership style, something along those lines. What do we need to know about the eclipses in March? I feel very strongly that he's probably not going to make it to the next eclipses. Two of Cups. We need friendships and partnerships to help us through. The Seven of Wands. We might feel like we have to defend our morals and values, but that's okay. They wouldn't be our morals and values unless we could defend them. We get the Three of Wands. Something inevitable is going to happen. Something's already written in the destiny. It's going to happen. The Three of Wands. Waiting for one ship to come in could have to do with overseas issues as well. This Six of Swords, moving away from troubled waters. And strength again. So two strengths. We need to know that we are strong enough to handle this time period. Otherwise, we wouldn't have been born into it. And we get the Four of Swords, ill health underneath. I think this has to do with the felon's health. Let's just throw a few oracle cards and we'll wrap it up. What do we need to know about the eclipse? It's just two. It's from the Angels and Ancestors Oracle. These cards are the ones we want. I think it actually they're set together. A fiery guardian. Ignite your passion. Fight for what you think is right. I think that's the message. Yeah, fight for your morals and values. Defend your morals and values. They wouldn't be yours if you couldn't defend them. The Mountain card. Stand your ground. Don't willingly let somebody usurp your power. And then Medicine Mother. Honor your inner knowing. We all have intuition. Some of us more than others, perhaps not, but we all have intuition. You know, intuition comes in varieties of forms. You know, it's hard to describe it, but you know it when you feel it. Trust that. All right, that's all I got. Thanks for watching. I'll be back with another video soon.